All right, let's talk about the human tornado. The crown jewel, the Evil Dead 2 of the Dolemite collection. By far Rudy Ray Moore's best film. I know I said Petey Wheatstraw is my favorite Rudy Ray Moore movie, but The Human Tornado is by far his greatest movie. It has everything you need. It is the most insane, kung fu, psychedelic, pimpin' comedy I've ever seen. Rudy Ray Moore's Dolemite, it's not just a character, it's a statement. The guy spends 90 minutes proving you can fight racism, run from cops, and somehow still have time to be the horniest man alive. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You got stand-up routines, kung fu, gratuitous nudity, and absolutely zero rules. The movie kicks off with Dolemite living his best life in a mansion that looks like it was decorated by a drunk Liberace. Things are going great until some racist sheriff catches him with his wife.
He made me do it!
Bitch, are you for real?
I mean, Dolemite's naked, mid-thrust, and still finds a way to turn it into a flex. The sheriff tries to kill him.
Kill him, Charlie!
So naturally, Dolemite kills him. He outruns the cops, naked, down a hill, and somehow that's only the second craziest thing that happens in the movie.
So y'all don't believe I jumped, huh? So watch this good.
And let's take a break here. This is the first and perhaps the only time I've ever seen in a movie an instant replay. Tell me that's not the most baller shit of all time. The motherfucker had the wherewithal, the sense of mind to put an instant replay in his own damn movie and narrate it. This shit made me fall in love with Rudy Ray Moore right here. You gotta be careful in this scene though. On the Blu-ray special edition, you see his f***ing balls as he's rolling down the hill. Chill, Rudy, I ain't trying to see all that. Rudy Ray Moore doesn't... Oh my God. Sorry. Rudy Ray Moore doesn't just break the fourth wall, he smashes it into dust with every insane line delivery. He's not acting, he's performing. The whole movie feels like it's one step away from turning into a live comedy show. And the first 20 minutes of the movie are a live comedy show.
$1, and another $1, and one of those fellas looked at him and said, "Nigga, where is your balls at?" He said, "In Vietnam."
That's part of the charm. You're not watching The Human Tornado for realism. You're watching it to see just how batshit crazy this Rudy Ray Moore guy is. And I knew Rudy. He was a friend of mine. And let me tell you, that motherfucker was batshit crazy. I'll tell you a story about Rudy Ray Moore. All right, so he lived in Las Vegas in his final years, and I live in Phoenix. So that's only like 4 hours away. So I'd go up to Vegas and visit him. He lived in an old folks community at the time. He was moving on in age, you know. So I'd take him to doctor's appointments, the pharmacy to pick up medication. So we get some Chinese food, some takeout. And Rudy was crazy. So he had this grocery bag with like 6 cell phones in it. I'm talking like these are the flip phone days. This is before the iPhone. And each phone had a different purpose. So he calls up the Chinese restaurant, his favorite spot over there. He's like, he called me, Jordan, what would you like? I'm like, let me get the orange chicken with some, chow mein. He's like, you sure that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's enough for me. So he orders for me and then he orders for himself. He's like, let me get the mushu pork with the fried rice. And then he gets another plate. And then he gets another plate. And then he gets another plate. And then he gets another. Motherfucker got like 6 plates. I'm like, you gonna eat all this shit, dude? Rudy was crazy, man. But he was an incredible human being, man. Oh, yeah. And on his prescriptions, it would say his full name. It was Rudolph Franklin Moore. That was then I realized Ray was not his middle name. That's like a nickname, Rudy Ray. His real name was Rudolph Franklin Moore. Obviously, Rudy's short for Rudolph, but, I always thought that was kind of funny, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But back to the movie. The fight scenes are on a whole other level. They're not good, but they're great. Rudy Ray Moore clearly doesn't know kung fu, but he doesn't let that stop him. He flails around like a drunk uncle at a family reunion, and somehow it works. And it's so ridiculous, it's genius. In that scene when he jumps off that balcony. And the hand gestures he's doing and the noises he's making. That's why you watch it. It's incredible. All right, let's get into the scene. You know, the sex scene where Dolemite doesn't just sleep with a woman, he brings the whole house down. And it's Cavaletti's wife, the mob boss. And it's not your standard bedroom scene. This is Rudy Ray Moore. It's a full-blown seismic event. The room starts shaking like they've got tectonic plates under the mattress. The walls crack. The ceiling caves in. And before you know it, the entire house is collapsing. And Dolemite knows what he's doing. This isn't a hookup. It's a power move. And the wife is into it, like really into it. This scene is everything Human Tornado is about. Chaotic, hilarious, and unapologetically disrespectful. It's not a sex scene, it's a metaphor. Dolemite isn't just screwing Cavaletti's wife, he's screwing the whole system. Dolemite didn't just steal Cavaletti's wife, he destroyed his house and left him with the bill. It's not just revenge, that's art. And shout out to the supporting cast too. You got the legendary Lady Reed as Queen Bee. Absolute legend. She's the glue that holds Dolemite's insanity together. And also Ernie Hudson. Rudy Ray Moore discovered Ernie Hudson, who would go on to be in, fucking Ghostbusters. So shout out to Rudy Ray Moore. He always had an eye for talent, man. Jimmy Lynch. Rudy Ray Moore was very selfless. He would get his foot in the door and let his people through. Just knowing him personally, that's how he rocked. He was that type of person, man. He was very generous. But the plot? Who cares? It's just an excuse to string together insane set pieces, raunchy jokes, and a whole lot of Rudy Ray Moore being Rudy Ray Moore. 1 minute he's running a nightclub, the next he's taking on an entire gang. Logic doesn't live here, and honestly, it's better that way. By the time you get to the end, you're either exhausted or enlightened, or both. The Human Tornado isn't just a movie, it's an experience. It's like someone dared Rudy Ray Moore to make the wildest, most unapologetically ridiculous film he could. And he said, "Hold my fur coat." But I used to force all my friends to have to sit through these movies with me. I absolutely loved them. And you know what? Looking back, none of them got it. They're like, why the hell is he making me sit through this shit? And I didn't care. I was ruthless with it. If you came over to my place, you had to watch Rudy Ray Moore movies. I'm sure I annoyed the living shit out of everyone. It was either you watch Dolemite movies with me or Purple Rain. I don't give a shit what you want to watch. And it's still like that to this day. I drive everyone in my family crazy with Rudy Ray Moore movies. But shout out to Rudy and shout out to the Human Tornado. Story time again. I did a song called The Human Tornado, which features Rudy Ray Moore on it. He let me sample the song, and he even appeared on it and hooked it all up for me, free of charge. So Rudy Ray Moore is the absolute man, the godfather, and a hell of a guy. So when you finish this, check out my song Human Tornado featuring the man. And, to the rest of you, I hope you have a good night, be safe, watch some Dolemite movies, and God bless.